A problem with the vertical sync happened again. This video is a quick recap showing the things that were done to resolve this. There were quite a few things that needed to be done to get this computer working again. Keep watching as I show you the steps over the next 6 minutes. We checked the voltages and sure enough, the 5 volts was showing 6.8 again. So we replaced the potentiometers thinking that that might be the problem. That was not the problem, so we ended up replacing the 5-volt regulator IC. We put in a socket to make changing it in the future, if ever needed, easier. That also did not solve the problem. So then we looked into this big power transistor. We checked the resistance, and it seemed to be around 0 ohms in either direction. So since the transistor seemed suspect, I decided to replace it by taking out the old one. Marcel gave me a new one with a heatsink already on it, so I installed that and soldered it in. In retrospect, I probably should not have soldered it in and should have checked the old one first. As you'll see here in a minute, that the ohms with the new one in circuit also shows 0 ohms. So then I thought, why not check the old one? So you can see that the old one does not show 0 ohms when out of circuit. So looking at the trace, there's another transistor nearby that I'm measuring the ohms here, and you can see that is showing 0 ohms. So it looks like that little one is actually the one that's at fault. So I went ahead and unsoldered and removed that little transistor. Once I got it out, I wanted to measure the ohms to see how it is out of circuit. And sure enough, it was showing the 0 ohms. So I needed a new part. And here's the old part. Marcel gave me a replacement part and I soldered it in. I powered it on and proceeded to check the 12 volts. It was a little off, so I tweaked it. Then I checked the 5 volts, which showed initially 5.6, and I proceeded to adjust it to 5.0 exactly. I then powered up the computer and set up this screen capture. The good news is that the vertical sync problem was solved. The bad news is that there seems to be this self-typing problem. So in the case of that weird typing like that, the most likely suspect is this cable that goes between the keyboard and the motherboard. So we're going to just do a quick ohms check to see whether that's true. So I went ahead and measured the resistance of this ribbon cable. Most of the connectors showed good except for the last 4, which showed an open circuit. To solve this, I need to replace this ribbon cable with a new one. So basically you replace this cable with these two right angle pins, and then you use just a regular ribbon cable with double ones here, and you just have to make sure you plug in the matching ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have been warned that you have to be very careful when desoldering these, because on the motherboard there's some of these go, or actually I guess all of them go all the way through, and that's part of what goes to the expansion interface. So I will show some instructions that the guy sent me, and just beware of that, and I'll include a link as well. And here's an example of a circuit board trace that goes through the motherboard all the way to the expansion interface connector. Here is a copy of the instructions he sent me along with the link to the GitHub, which I'll add to the video's description. I went ahead and cut the existing ribbon cable along with cutting each individual wire so it'll be easier to remove per the instructions. Desoldering these proved to be a bit of a challenge. I'm just showing a little bit here of what I did to get these off. This seemed like the best method given the tools that I have. I then used this desolder pump, aka solder sucker, to clean up the holes. I then repeated the process on the keyboard PCB, which turned out to be a lot easier. I used some solder wick to do some cleanup, but then I found actually that using the solder sucker was also better because I also was able to clean up the holes as well. I then did a quick continuity check to make sure none of the contacts were shorted next to each other. I sprayed the contact area I worked on with flux remover on both the computer motherboard and the keyboard connector, and here's the results here. I added these right angle pin connectors and began soldering them in. Once the soldering was done, I checked continuity front to back off camera to confirm it conducted all the way through. And here's the final result with the ribbon cable connected. I powered on the computer and everything looked good. No more automatic typing. I checked the memory and I wrote a little tiny program just for fun. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see if this old power transistor actually worked or not. So I have this in-circuit tester that's designed to test any component in any orientation just by pressing a button. So I hooked it up using these alligator clips to this meter, and we're going to press the button and see what it tells me it thinks it is. So it's telling me that it thinks it's a resistor. So in all likelihood, replacing this was absolutely necessary because it also seems to have burned out. Try it again, and we're going to get a very similar reading. Yep. And just for fun, to prove that this meter actually does work, I'm going to take this out. And I've got this sample transistor that's known to be good. Put that in there and press the button. And here we can say it clearly shows it as an NPN transistor. And also, just to convince you otherwise, if you take that out, I flip it around to a different orientation, press the button, it's going to still tell me that it's an NPN transistor and the numbers 1, 2, and 3 moved around. The only thing I didn't confirm was whether this regulator IC needed to be replaced or not. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and please check out one of my other videos here.